So, you're welcome to today's episode on what is happening in Nigeria. What is happening with the Naira? Like, what is happening with it? So, everybody's wondering, like, Naira is 820, 755, 720. What is really going on? So, you guys, I'm going to break it down for you. Now, here is the thing. There are three ways Nigeria really just gets money. Number one is exports. Export is all the things that we sell to other countries, and our major export in Nigeria is crude oil. We have other things like charcoal, cashew nuts. We sell a number of other things to other countries. But one of our biggest major foreign exchange earner is crude oil. And we all know how that is going. So in the Niger Delta, there is the whole oil theft. You guys heard about the vessel that they saw carrying about 80,000 liters of petrol that was destroyed. That one is a story for another day. But we all know what is happening in terms of oil. That is not dependent on what you can just change overnight. So the export side is on one side. So that's our major source of revenue. Number two, remittances. Remittances are primarily money that is sent to you from another country to your relatives. So your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt, anybody, even your friend, your lover, your boyfriend, girlfriend, sending you that money to Nigeria, take this one, take soft, make you just, arrange yourself. Okay, that is it. So those are remittances. And remittances are supposed to be a very huge major source of foreign exchange for Nigeria. Now, but why is Nigeria not earning foreign exchange? Why? Why? Okay, there are a number of factors currently going on around the world. Now, there's inflation that is going up, mortgages have gone up, and as inflation is going up, a lot of countries around the world are increasing the rates. They're hiking their rate. So you'll have heard the Feds in the US hiking their rate. You'll have heard in the UK hiking their rate. What it means is that the rate of mortgage for people that have mortgages to pay will go up. So even if you buy a phone and then maybe you have a variable interest rate, the interest rates will go up. So those guys are now going to be squeezed more. Number two is that inflation. So the cost at which they are buying things has gone up. So before, if you're buying tissue paper or you're buying groceries for your house in the UK or US, you're buying them for $10 or $20. Now it has gone up to almost 25 to 30. Now the extra money that you have that you'll have used to send down back home, you're going to keep some of them because you're trying to still settle other bills because maybe your mortgage has increased, so you're settling more for your mortgage and a host of other factors. Then number three is that our people do not trust the government. So before now, people will send down money, uncle, use this money and buy me one land, use this money and start to develop this house for me in the village or start this business. But due to the instability in the politics of Nigeria, a lot of people are not confident about sending down money. That brings us to number three, which is FDI and FPI. Now, FDI is foreign direct investment. Now, foreign direct investment just ordinarily means, people sending now money to Nigeria to either invest in companies, build houses, all those forms of investments that is direct. Like here, it's direct, straight to the point. You get? Now, that is foreign direct investment. If, for example, Burna Boy that is in the US now sends down money to Nigeria and comes to develop an estate of 20,000 houses, mass housing, and he's renting it out and selling some, that is foreign direct investment. If Bill Gates is doing the same, that's foreign direct investment. But one of the problems that these people have is that they are reading the news. Now, let me tell you how rich men invest. Calm down. Let me show you. As a rich man, for example, Dangote, do you think Dangote is every day he's watching the news to check analytics, to check the news, check how the market is doing? If Dangote wants to invest in, say, South Africa, or Dangote wants to invest in, which country am I going to call? Wants to invest in Brazil. All he has to do is he has a team. So the team has people that are reading the news about Brazil, reading the news about South Africa, what is happening in the economy. Is this a good place to invest at the moment? Are they stable? Is there going to be What is the crime rate? Where are we going to situate our factories? A number of all those things. But now those guys are the real change makers for big organizations, not Dangote himself. Now imagine somebody that is reading Nigeria's news. What is the thing that you're going to be reading? The CBN governor. Mind you, the CBN governor is still the CBN governor. He has, because you need two-thirds of the National Assembly to take him out. The CBN governor is being dragged. They are trying to drag him. Who is going to, in a courtroom where a court is giving a judgment, and then the Secret Service of the Federation is saying we're not going to obey that. That sends a strong signal. What it says is that the rule of law, the difference between in quote Nigeria and the Western world is that they obey the rule of law. No matter what happens, once they take, let's go to court. Once the court decides this, that is the end. But when you can't obey judgment, imagine someone that is as highly placed as the CBN governor and cannot get judgment from his own country. Then is it the foreigner that will come in with his money and they will do him anyhow that will get judgment? So those are the things that they look out for. And Nigeria that is trying to attract people to bring money is having all this type of news put out there for investors. Everybody's going to be like, well, Nigerians are doing well. I think they're a big population, even if they are very poor. But for now, let's stay off. Let's move somewhere else that we know that will give us less headache. And that is why you are not seeing a lot of money flowing into Nigeria. And you have the other one, which is falling portfolio investment. Falling portfolio investment is the one that you invest in stocks and bonds. So if someone, like, use typical example again, Bill Gates, that is bringing money, Apple, Microsoft is bringing money into the stock market to buy Nigerian stocks and bonds because Nigerian stock market is doing well. That is foreign portfolio investment. But that money is typically called hot money because as they can just see, they say, okay, things are going to just change like this. So they bring in their money. If they are not comfortable, boom, they take their money immediately. And the money can come in billions one day and leave the next day in billions. But that's why the CBN had to float the Naira, because they needed these foreign portfolio investors to come in and say, okay, we can bring in our money and then we can estimate that we'll take this money at Naira being 1,000 in the next how many years due to what we're seeing. So we'll bring in at 800 and take it at 1,000. But the time we're going to take it, we'll have made profit of almost 1,500. So taking it at 1,000, we're going to have a 500 spread. Makes sense for us. That way they can invest. So that those are the things that they look out for. If these things are not put in place, the government providing the correct environment for investors to come in, making sure that the rule of law is strictly adhered to, creating the ease of doing business, subsidizing forms of electricity, providing adequate infrastructure, energy. Those are the things that they look out for. Investors are looking out to come and situate a factory that will employ people, that will reduce the cost of our importation because we are producing it locally, and then we can start to export some of those finished goods. Those are the things that the government needs to put in place. They don't happen overnight. But by the time you're sending a signal due to the actions that you're taking, not by sending 40 billion to buy SUVs, just SUVs or moto, 40 billion for a group of people, it sends a wrong signal to the investors. Also, just the same way, the people that are supposed to come back, that are supposed to feel comfortable, which are Nigerians, are supposed to come back and say, this is our country now, we'll carry our money, come back. If they feel disenfranchised, they're not going to tell, because everybody has a link to someone else. So someone might work in an organization that he is going to influence the decision that will be taken for that company to come into Nigeria. They'll be like, my country, for now, I don't understand them, and they stay off. Those are part of the reasons why you are seeing a lot of money not flowing into Nigeria. And as long as money is not flowing in, foreign currency is not flowing in, there's no way that the Naira will appreciate, because there's nobody coming to buy your goods. They're like market where you sit down, you carry this one, keep. You have this one, you've kept it, and nobody's coming to buy. Monday morning till night, nobody's coming to buy. As long as you don't have people trying to purchase from you, then your goods remain. So your goods is not appreciated. Nobody's coming to ask you what you carry. But if people are rushing everywhere, it means that the Naira starts to appreciate. So for now, we still keep having our depreciation. And that still comes out to the prediction that in the next few months, the government has a tough decision. Either they bring back subsidy, or the floating of the naira that they've done, they have to go back on it and put a peg to it. And once they put a peg to it, it means that the government starts to take money from their reserve and go and start defending the naira. So the extra margin that you're seeing there, that is not, the government is pumping money so that the naira can appreciate artificially. So they need to come into that. So if they don't do that, there's trouble ahead though. So that's my thoughts on why the naira isn't appreciating at the moment. I want to hear your thoughts, what you think about this. What are the other angles that you feel that I did not touch? I'd like to hear about it in the comment section. I'd like to do more videos like this. You can like, follow, subscribe on the page. We're getting bigger. Hey, this is the Onlinebanker. Hey, be good. Take care. This is the Onlinebanker. Peace out.